customers listed race can be appointed to some big prizes later on in the campaign, can provide something of a springboard. A mile and a half the trip and a good renewal as well. Good to firm in places. The going ahead of the restricted maiden over 7 furlongs. Nice prize to win with 16,200. The winner, 7-4, Carolina Reaper to get off the mark. Calling them home was Mike Cattermole.
A slightly dreary July course at the moment. Lined up and away they go. Nice break then for this opening contest. Asta Verde on the left in the orange jacket, a little bit slow to stride. Likewise, War Chimes running very green in arrears too as they go over 7 furlongs. The Juddmonte British EBF Restricted Maiden Fillies Stakes. And Carolina Reaper taken on the near side then by the nose-banded runner Marie's Secret. And look at Squeaker, who's running very freely in the black jacket on the far side there alongside the pace-setting Carolina Reaper. Just behind them in fourth is Hagwa in the green sleeves, followed on the inside then by the pale blue and maroon colours of Union Jackie. Working further out then to Al Hujaja, who's on the extreme left, just in touch with these leaders, with Phoenix Duchess on the inside of that one, with Oops in the maroon and white chevrons in the throng as well. On the outside, making some ground but still running green, is War Chimes, together there with Ambiente Amigo. Out the back still is Asta Verde. Runners coming down towards the final quarter mile here. Carolina Reaper and James Doyle going strongly at the head of affairs now, but on the outside, Al Hujaja is beginning to find her stride as they race down in towards the dip. Carolina Reaper is the leader by 2 or 3 lengths. Squeaker, Ambiente Amigo and Al Hujaja battling it out for the placing surely, because Carolina Reaper, this scopy filly, is drawing clear in the closing stages, and she's going to make just about every yard here and runs out a good winner for the Charlie Johnston team in the Gallop Racing colours for James Doyle. Ambiente Amigo shaped really well for second, with Phoenix Duchess back in third.
Carolina Reaper off the mark in the restricted maiden filly stakes. 7-4 favourite for James Doyle, Charlie Johnson and Gallop Racing. Second, Ambient Amigo, 16-1. Third, Phoenix Duchess at 22-1. 4.5 lengths the winning margin. Well, she was well backed for this, and you could see why. Her form in the Chesham was working out when in a bunched finish, but as we say, the Chesham's worked out in 2.25 lengths the winning distance that Snellen had over her. Dropped into this, albeit very valuable, but clearly lower, restricted maiden fillies. She's shown them a clean pair of heels, and it looked in no doubt from quite a long way out. She has interesting claims going forward.
First race has been won in style by the well-backed Carolina Reaper. James Doyle, well done indeed. First time on the filly. Your takeaway there?
Yeah, lovely and straightforward. Obviously the Chesham run was good, not beaten all that far. So you'd be pretty hopeful she could go and get the job done nicely today. It worked out lovely. She broke really quick. I was able to got left alone early, so I was able to just let her enjoy herself before I asked her to go through her gears, and I did that from a fair way out, knowing that she wouldn't do too much too soon or do anything too quick. But she actually showed a nice kick and put the race to bed quite early on. Yeah.
Has this stuff got into the ground, do you feel?
It's starting to, and you know, if this carries on, it will start to change the ground. At the minute, it's just settling on the top, but if we get much more, it will get into it, yeah.
Quick word on One Nation, who's got loads of competitive form going into today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Look, on a pick of his form, he'd go really well. We'll just have to see how he is. Obviously, we're back to a mile, which should be fine, and yeah, on the pick of even his Dubai form, should see him go well, so we'll see.
James, well done.
Thank you.
6 furlong handicap up next. Good to firm in places the going. Just to spark your 100-30 favourite. A very open field with plenty of chances.
Set and away they go. Didn't hold them for long at all, did they, for this visitracingtv.com handicap class 4 event, a bait in the sheepskin noseband and Mia Nichols. Away to a very good start, together with Just a Spark, who's settling in second. Hover on the win, the blue and white colours alongside Equiano Springs. Moccatil on the left. Covered up at this stage then is Almaty Star in the light blue and yellow. Capote's Dream is in the sheepskin noseband just behind these, and then towards the back of the field is Epic Express on the inside, but well in touch as the runners race on down towards the halfway point of the contest. A bait then freewheeling out in front now, leading by just over a length and a half or so. There's a line of 4 behind there on the near side there. Just a Spark shaken up by Rossa Ryan. Almaty Star is getting into it. Travelling well, Equiano Springs. Tom Quealy, now he's just been given the office as well to try and close down this leader. Into the dip and up the other side then. A bait still has it as they go past the furlong marker. Equiano Springs over on the far side into second. Almaty Star is also running on with Capote's Dream. stream inside the final half furlong, and Equiano Springs is wearing down a bait, and a well-timed challenge from Equiano Springs does the job. A bait in second, Capote's Dream was third, Almaty Star back in fourth.
Equiano Springs takes the handicap 5-1 for Tom Quilly, Tom Tate and Tom Tate Racing. Second Debate 4-1. Third Capote's Dream 5-1. And Debate had gone with plenty of zest under Mia Nichols, and I thought she judged it to a nicety. But Equiano Springs, this evergreen 9-year-old, has bounced back to form with a couple of pounds off his back, having raced off 81 over 7 furlongs of good to firm ground at York in a better race last time. He dropped in grade, he dropped in trip, he was back at a place that he won already, a course and distance winner of the past. And there's still races to be won with him. 9 years old, but you'd never know it.
Race 2 here at Newmarket has just been won by Tom Quilly on. Get out of the rain in a minute, but just to round it back therefore to the horse, you just talked about the
it's a funny thing. You're trying. He's a boisterous bolshy horse, and you're trying not to get into an argument with.
There was a going change ahead of our third race. Good to firm in places became just good with rain softening conditions at Newmarket. Ahead of the mile handicap, 13.5 grand to the winner of this. Saxon King headed up a predictably strong field, 3-1.
And racing, a mile ahead of them here for this Leather Gold Handicap, a competitive Class 2 event. And one to begin well was Maysong in the sheepskin noseband in the white jacket, trapped there by Saxon King down the centre. Over on the right, Justice Protocol, the white face of Hafit Alan, right up with the leading quartet as well. They're being trapped then by the Godolphin First colours of First View. Racing on its own is One Nation on the left as they come up through the first 2.5 furlongs. Tracking the leaders, Dutch Decoy over on the far side, covered up bass player who races in the red jacket with Liberty Lane further across. And also held up is Havana Blue the Grey. At this stage, the back marker is Bo Pedro, just tracking Indemnify the Grey ahead of him. So racing down then the straight track here, up down towards the halfway marker, the 4 furlong marker in a wide open affair. Hafit Alem might just be in front, but Justice Protocol over on the far side is alongside him. Saxon King is next. Maysong still there with every chance, as indeed is First Views getting closer. Havana Blue makes up ground on the outside in the gold cap. Dutch Decoy still travelling strongly for Oliver Stammers. Will need some luck though in running as usual. Now gets shaken up. Hafit Alen is pressing on then, passing the 2 furlong markers. They race on down the hill. Saxon King is chasing. Dutch Decoy is launching his challenge over on the far side, but the gap is just closing slightly. Liberty Lane is running on very strongly down the centre as they race on up the hill. Dutch Decoy being delivered over on the far side to try and challenge Hafit Alen, who's gamely clinging on. Dutch Decoy and Hafit Alen as they race up towards the line. Dutch Decoy comes home to win. A deserved victory from Hafit Alen. Back in third, Bo Pedro, Liberty Lane, and these were clear of in fifth, Saxon King.
Dutch Decoy takes the handicap 5-1 for Ollie Stammers, Charlie Johnston and Owners Group 52. Second, Hafit Allen 6-1. Third, Bo Pedro 8-1. A neck and a length in it. Saxon King only 5th in the end, the eventual favourite. Dutch Decoy tracked Hafit Allen all the way through the race. On the far side, you can see 1 and 2 stuck very much over there. Others were trying to make up ground from the back, but Dutch Decoy, and similar to Equiano Springs, evergreen at this age. He'd registered a 9th win on his 53rd start. There'll be plenty more opportunities for him come season end.
Dutch Decoy has won the feature mile handicap. Charlie Johnston at the double, Oliver Stammers the winning jockey. Well done indeed. You and this fella get on very well, don't you? I was just looking at the overall record.
Yeah, no, he's brilliant. We've had so much great success together. 3 wins here now, so no, brilliant, delighted.
Yes, he's 3 from 3 here. You could see that you guys, the pair of you, travelling noticeably well over on that far side. Was there an advantage, you think, to being over there, or was it just a case of being nearer the rail?
I think so. I canted down there and it was a bit of fresh ground. I thought, you know, it's getting in. He's a horse that doesn't really like soft ground, and I canted down and it felt a bit fresher than anywhere else. So I thought, look, I'll try and sort of come that way. I was drawn that side, and you know, it worked out. And you know, on the day, possibly that was the best place to be, but you know, it worked for me anyway.
You said, yeah, 3 wins here, 3 from 3. What is it about this place that seems to suit him so well?
He's a hold-up horse. When he goes around a bend, obviously you can just then get a little bit too far back, and you know, it just sort of then you switch him for a run, and it just helps him that a straight. He's never having to go wide and lose ground, and he could just come through them, and yeah, it just really suits him.
Rain or shine, I know they've disappeared now, and rightly so, but in this instance, Ray, it's always a bit of fun, extra fun when you're riding a winner for the owners group, given how many people and enthusiastic people turn out.
It is, it's brilliant. You know, it's so great to see how happy they all are, and you know, that they're always happy, win or defeat. You know, they're just so pleased, and he's a great horse for a partnership like that. He's always knocking on the door, he's there or thereabouts, so yeah, he's a great horse that we have great fun with. And
he's running this off, what, 90? Is this the best he's been?
Yeah, this year he's come back even better than last year.
Yeah.
You know, he's been off a high mark all year, and last year he sort of progressively went through the handicap run. He's been running off sort of high 80s, 90s, and you know, he's in the best form he's ever been in.
Could you see him earmarked for Goodwood, knowing the trainer's preference or the yard preference for running horses at that meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a go there. He went there last year, was 4th. He ran a great race. Obviously, again, sort of.
Cloudbreaker in the
He went there last year, was 4th. He ran a great.
The Rick and Mary Hambro Aphrodite Filly Stakes was the feature on Newmarket's card. Fillies and mares listed over 1.5 miles, and Nova Kai, one of a few 3-year-olds in here, getting plenty of weight from the elders, 5-2 to make it count.
And they're off and racing. They got the last few in quite quickly then for this Rick and Mary Hambro Aphrodite Filly Stakes. This listed contest over 1.5 miles. Heavenly Breath and Holly Doyle alongside Perfect Profit and Kieran O'Neill, who goes on now in the orange cap as they race in a straight line for the first couple of furlongs or so. Star Fortress in the white cap and sleeves is racing 3rd. On the outside, the white bridle of Climate Friendly. Truthful's taking a bit of a grip in the blue colours with Kieran Fallon. Settling just behind her is the favourite Nova Kai, and then Sound Angela in the matching headgear, the blue, yellow and pink colours. LeMay is next. Cloudbreaker in the line there with Wiki Wheels, and Belt Buckle brings up the rear. So now they turn right-handed and head down the long home straight here on the July course, being led round the turn then by Perfect Profit. Strides out then by about a length. Heavenly Breath is racing in 2nd place. On the inside, the other grey filly, that is Star Fortress, in the hands there of Ross Orion. Close up in 4th place is Climate Friendly. Nova Kai is next, the yellow with the black spot. Sound Angela just behind there, and wider we've got Belt Buckle. Truthful is tracking the main group ahead of her, with just behind her on the inside LeMay. Cloudbreaker just tracking, is in last place now because Wiki Wheels has moved up a little bit. But there's only about 5 lengths covering the whole field as they race on down now towards the final 5 furlongs. So well past halfway in the listed Rick and Mary Hambro Aphrodite Stakes. Quite a battle on for the advantage here. Heavenly Breath moving alongside Perfect Profit. Nova Kai's coming into it. Sound Angela travelling very well indeed for Ray Dawson on the outside. Behind them, manoeuvring for a run there is Climate Friendly. Wiki Wheels running a big race at a big price. As the runners race inside the final 3 furlongs, jostling for position there. Nova Kai now shaken up as Heavenly Breath makes her bid. Perfect Profit is sticking around. Star Fortress travelling really well on the near side as they come down inside the final quarter mile. Nova Kai over on the far side. Star Fortress between them is Heavenly Breath as they race down towards the dip here on the near side. Cloudbreaker's trying to get a blow in as well. Nova Kai though is clear up the hill inside the final furlong. She's up by about 3 lengths of favourite, being kept up to her work, and she's powering clear in the closing stages. Nova Kai just having her sights lowered today slightly. Is too classy in the Aphrodite. Goes on to win well. Cloudbreaker second, Star Fortress, and then LeMay, and behind them Perfect Profit.
Novakai dots up in the Aphrodite. 5-2 favourite scores for Sam James, Carl Burke, Sheikh Mohammed Obeid Al Maktoum. Second, Cloudbreaker 13-2. Third, Star Fortress 13-2. And 4 3/4 lengths in it at the line. Well, she was just in a league of her own, Novakai. Coming into this race, there was nothing to suggest that she wouldn't enjoy this step up in trip. Her dam being by Nathaniel. Soft ground shouldn't have been a problem. And you're looking at her SP and thinking how exactly, when she was a 3-year-old getting the weight, how she managed to go off as the 5-2 favourite, because she's absolutely smoked them. She was in a league of her own, and this should be a springboard to bigger and better things.
The feature race, the listed Aphrodite Stakes, has been won in 5-star by Novakai in the hands of Sam James. Sam, well done indeed. That struck me to me as a filly with real class form in the book, showing exactly what she could do at a lower level.
Yeah, I think she was entitled to do that, wasn't she? You know, she's been running well in pitching in a lot better company, and I think the step up in trip helped. Like I said to them when I come in, I wouldn't mind riding it again, to be honest. I thought we got... Really? I just sort of, you know, I didn't want to let them get a roll on me, and I just sort of pulled her out just to sort of go and join them, but it was quite a bit from home, and I've just sort of, you know, had to use a little bit of gas, say, just to get to the leaders, and then I've ended up getting there a little bit too soon, really, and she sort of pricked her ears, but like I said, you know, she's won well, and it was good to see that she did stay the mile and a half. You know, I think Carl thought that she would. You know, it was definitely, I think there'll be a lot more improvement over that trip, you know.
I don't know what Carl's plan is, but would you think that the Yorkshire Oaks will now be on the agenda, because it'll be a good break till then, sorry?
Yeah, look, Carl will know more about what he's doing with it than I will. I mean, I presume that would be probably the next stepping stone. She looks a filly with, even next year, I think she could be even better. You know, she's a big frame filly. She looks a filly with a big future, you know.
You rode Liberty Lane earlier. Now, I just want to ask you, in the time since then, is the ground changing, softening appreciably?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, when I rode Liberty Lane, they were more knocking the top off it. I thought, you know, that like it is getting into it now. I think by the end of the day, it'll be proper soft ground. You know. And
he ran all right, didn't he?
He ran a really solid race. You know, he's just. Carl just told me today, just to try and get him to just switch off. He's been sort of jumping and going, you know, forward over further trips, to be fair. And he was a little bit keen at Ascot, where they went no gallop for Cliff. And I just wanted to just follow one, and I ended up having to just take back a little bit further than ideal. But I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, because he needs to learn to relax and race properly, you know.
And with that in mind, given how lightly raced he is, and a bit like another kind of weight, racing really good races so far, would strongly run miles be the future for him?
Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't stay a mile and a quarter. I just think he needs to, like, at home, this is you know, he's a really smart horse. He works really well with some really good horses, Liberty Lane does, and I think he's just learning all the time. He's a very big baby, and I think he's, you know, once everything gets right with him, I think he's going to be a very, very good horse. He just today probably didn't suit him ideal, you know. Dropping in here, I was the other side of the track a little bit when I've come to join him. I think even round a bend, I think he'd probably be better and just switch off. And yeah, I think he could be a horse for the future as well. Yeah.
Super stuff. Well done today.
Thank you.
Penultimate race on the card, a confined handicap for horses who have won no more than one race. It was over 10 furlongs, and I Still Have Faith was your 15-8 clear favourite at the Flagfall.
And racing. Codyman jockey just whipped the blindfold off there in the nick of time. It was slow into stride, as indeed was clenched for this Racing TV confined handicap. Horses that have won no more than one race. In fact, I Still Have Faith, who's locked away in last place, the only one that's actually managed to win a race. And out in front, the early pace is coming from Bohemian Breeze, who strides out with some purpose, leads by 5 lengths already, as they move through the first couple of furlongs before they turn into the home straight with a mile ahead of them. So Bohemian Breeze very positively ridden here by Danny Muscat as they move down to the 7. Racing ahead of Another Dimension, who leads the chasing posse alongside Moosh in the green and black stripes. Then on the outside then is Alakaifi in the sheepskin noseband, racing together there with Two for the Gutter and the lighter blue colours. On the inside then Major, Codyman is restrained, so too Twilight Guest at the back of the field with I Still Have Faith as they move down inside the final 3/4 of a mile here. Bohemian Breeze still going along very smoothly indeed now as they begin to reach inside the final 4.5. Leads by about 5 lengths. Another Dimension and Moosh in second and third. On the inside then is Ala Kaifi, trapped there by I Still Have Faith, who's just beginning to close a little bit now. 2 for the gutter, his old rivals under a bit of a drive. Major being driven. Codyman on the left is making up some ground. Twilight to Guest is under pressure. At the back of the field still is clenched. Down they come towards the final 2.5 furlongs here. And here comes Moosh and James Doyle to tackle Ala Kaifi. It's all change up front here. Major and Codyman running on down the outside, and I Still Have Faith is the one that's weaving his way through between all of them. They're racing up the hill now towards the final furlong. Ala Kaifi and Benoit de la Seyat just in front, but I Still Have Faith is buckling down pretty gamely on the outside. These two have drawn clear of Moosh in 3rd place. Racing up towards the final 100 yards here. It's desperately close here on the far side. Ala Kaifi, I Still Have Faith on the near side, may have just got there. And they were clear of Major in 3rd, and then 2 for the gutter in 4th. Judge to confirm.
Back-to-back wins for I Still Have Faith. 15-8 favourite scores for Stefano Kirky, Ben and Roger Brookhouse. 2nd, Ala Kaifi, 13-2. 3rd, Major, 12-1. Just a short head between the top 2. And when I Still Have Faith ranged up to Ala Kaifi, you thought that was a foregone conclusion. And to some extent it always was. But Ala Kaifi, to the credit of the runner-up, has stayed on really resolutely to make it interesting in the closing stages. I Still Have Faith, though, a head win at Nottingham has kicked off what probably will be a sequence if they can find another good race. Only up £2 and has made it count. The finale, a handicap over 7 furlongs. Star of Orion and Final Watch couldn't be split. The latter, a love affair with Newmarket, 15-8 joint favourites.
And away they go. 7 furlongs ahead of them. Just a little bit slow to stride. Final Watch looks as though he's going to be locked away, though, and ridden quietly by Andrea Azzini. They raced 10 over 7, as I said, for this Class 3 Racing TV Now handicap. And the early pace is a pretty moderate one. 1 or 2 horses taking a bit of a strong hold, including Mayshire, who's just ahead of on the near side Siam Fox, and Rich is on the rail. Tracking Metro's On Fire. On the outside, Final Watch, Star of Orion in the hands of Ross Orion. At the back of the field on the inside with Soar Above, the only one behind him, as the runners now race down towards the final half mile. So they're approaching halfway in this Class 3 Join Racing TV Now handicap, and there's only about 4 lengths covering the 7 runners, all travelling nicely. Just ahead still, perhaps, is Mayshire. On the inside then, Rich alongside, with Holly going strongly. On the near side, the red cap Siam Fox and Sam James. Improving on the inside there, Star of Orion, the green and yellow colours. Now they're beginning to sprint a bit. Metro's On Fire is trying to get a bit of head of steam up. Dropping out of it is Final Watch, disappointingly on one of his favourite tracks, as they race towards the final furlong. And it's Star of Orion who begins to assert in the closing stages. Down on the outside, though, is Soar Above, who's battling on bravely. It won't get anywhere near to Star of Orion, who comes home to win well for Ross Orion. Soar Above was 2nd, Metro's On Fire 3rd, and Rich back in 4th.
Star of Orion, 15-8 joint favourite. Ross Orion, the winning jockey. Across the card double for Rafe Beckett and Tracy Ashby, the winning owner. 2nd, Soar Above, 25-1. Hopefully all okay with Final Watch. Has dropped away quite tamely at a track that he goes particularly well at. Star of Orion has travelled into this brilliantly and only needed one reminder really from Ross Orion to really seal the deal. Was propelled forward and has won this basically as he liked. A son of footsteps in the sand has gone on for an impressive victory. 2.5 lengths, although you feel it could have been more. Some good action on the July course, even if the weather didn't quite match up. Nova Kai, a very impressive winner of the Rick and Mary Hambro Aphrodite Filly Stakes. She was taking a drop in class, taking on her eldest for the first time, but was getting plenty of weight. Step up and trip, no problem. 5-2 favourite scoring. A good win for Sam James and Carl Burke's team in amazing form for the last month or so. You'd imagine bigger and better tests to wait, but good to see her in the winner's enclosure this time this season. There are the winning times. The quickest on the clock, furlong per furlong, came courtesy of the 6-year-old gelding Dutch Decoy. Good